Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Universes Academy podcast. I am your host, John Jennings. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mr. Ryan Kraft and Mr. Matt Childress. How we doing, boys?
What's going on, man? I'm doing great today. It's been another good week in My Hero Academia card game stuff. Bunch of
Yeah,
tournaments
man.
going on, so it's been fun.
It's
Nice.
yeah. It's been an eventful week or two, so doing good.
Yeah,
Just keeping
and
busy, man.
I'm sure Ryan's having to squeeze in my hero time in between grinding out that Destiny too.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about Destiny though. I put a lot of hours into that. What we can talk about though is we had those sweet previews that dropped on Friday. So hopefully
Yeah.
everyone caught those and enjoyed those because they were some bangers.
Yeah, if you didn't check it out, obviously go back and check out our previous video where we actually revealed 3 of the Midoriya cards. We're not going to talk about them this episode,
We'll-
obviously, because they're already in
We'll
that
put a
one.
link somewhere in this area to that video.
Yeah, so go check that
It's
out.
it's in the description. I ain't putting it on the screen.
It's in the description. There you go.
It'll be in the description and on the screen somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. Somewhere it can be found. We've obviously had a bunch more reveals since our last episode. We're going to talk about those. We did have 2 money tournaments that just wrapped up. One was yesterday, I think, and then one just finished up a few hours ago.
So that would have been Saturday and Sunday for those who don't know what today is that we're recording.
Yes.
John's got to make sure to always timestamp when it's recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately. He's like, no illusion of mystery here.
Nah, we're up front. We usually record either Sunday mornings or Sunday evenings. That's generally when we record. I feel like that's, if you've listened to us at all, you can probably figure that out by now. But the tournament yesterday, I believe the finals were Tokiyami and Nomu, and I think Tokiyami took it home. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, so Daniel Nelson, I think is his last name. His name's like Damn Deal on the Discord. But yeah, he took it home in 3 games. That game
Didn't
3.
he play Tokiyami
playing-
and make top cuts in the other event too?
In the
Yeah.
provisional, yeah.
Provisional?
And
He did,
actually,
yeah.
in the one Wednesday event that I've played in, I actually played against him. He was playing Fire Tokiyami. He's a really cool dude.
I played
he's
against
Very
him.
committed to that character. That must be his jam.
Houston or Dallas, I believe, somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, so I played against him in the provisional. I sided into Nomu against him, and I was like, well, I'm gonna commit my character on my build turn, and then I got blown
Oops.
up on turn 2 because I was like, well, if he kills me with 35, he kills me. And then I was watching him play yesterday, and literally the same situation happened. They get to game 3, his opponent commits Nomu on his build turn, and he untaps and just fucking blows him out, 35 damage on turn 2. So, hey, that's what Tokiyami does. He's a beating.
Yep. Firebird will do that to you.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first. Next character to get banned, Tokiyami. Or nerfed.
He is really good. And then today in a different tournament, the finals, it was not the same 2 players, but it was the same 2 characters again. It was the Nomu and Tokiyami. I think Tokiyami took game 1 and then Nomu got it on the next 2. Is that right?
Yeah, this one was Phil Birch, and I can't remember who was playing, so sorry to that person. I think it's HTL Seed or something on the Discord is the guy's name. But yeah, Nomu took it down in 3 games. He won games 2 and 3. And I mean, Phil Birch put up a good fight, but Tokiyami could not back-to-back the weekend. It was a Nomu and Tokiyami show, though, all weekend.
Damn.
Heard it here first. Nomu's getting banned too.
That's just so Matt doesn't have to eat
Nerf the
crow later.
Nomu. I don't have to
right.
what, huh? I don't know
So
what
you
you're talking about.
So you have to eat crow when inevitably Nomu beats you again.
Character's bad. Stand by it. I refuse to live in a meta where Nomu can win things.
Well, is that? I don't know how to
It's
take
over,
that,
guys. It's over. I'm done.
because we live in a meta in which Nomu can win things. So,
Yes, we do. He wins a lot of things right now.
Don't do it, Matt. It's not worth it over Nomu.
Yeah, I was gonna walk out, but then I thought that'd be a little too dramatic. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to actually be with him. I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm not going to.
Well, moving along from that dark bit of comedy,
Let's talk about some cardboard.
Let's talk about some cards, I guess. God damn. So when we last left you, we were talking about Bakugo's kit. Since then, we've had the last 2 of his cards revealed. The first one we're going to talk about is obviously there's 2 foundations. This one is Forcing Surrender. It is a 1/5 with a +2 low block. Response flip. After you play a combo ability, your rival discards 1 momentum. I like that. That's good. Momentum control is always cool. We also have enhanced flip. Discard 1 non-attack card from either player's card pool. Now, it is kind of funny. We were just talking about Tokiyami, and the picture, the art on this card is also of Tokiyami. It's another picture in which we have Dark Shadow crying, which I think is funny. But yeah, seems like a really strong foundation. Just generically good stats, good block on it, momentum control, and then also getting summon Dark Shadow out your opponent's card pool or whatever card happens to be messing you up. There's a Sane Foundation we're going to talk a little bit later that also has a static foundation on it, or a static ability on it. So I think that's kind of an interesting bit of tech for these cards. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
So I think like on fire, you can do some cool stuff with Ida, maybe like kicking actions out of their card pool before they can do like combo action enhances. And on Earth, this is just another way to keep your card pool clear. So you can manly passionate blocks down on Earth, or you can just discard them from your card pool if you don't have manly passionate. So you can use it on your own turn to make your blocking more efficient. So I think it's a pretty cool card.
Yeah, well, it's also kind of shits on the entire water archetype of clog your card pool with stuff, right? Like, sure, they might stuff an attack in there, but if they stuff something that's not an attack, you're like, cool, flip, get that out of here. You know, I just traded a flip for a card, and you probably flipped or destroyed a card to put it in there. You know, and it's like a one shot ability for you. Well, it's same for me. So, yeah, this card, I think this card's really good. The momentum control, I think, is huge. Also, it being locked behind a combo requirement, you know, like, because it's not just play a combo attack, you have to actually use the combo ability. So you have to actually combo the attack as well. So that's a little tougher to do. It fits within Bakugo's theme, though. You know, he's all about some combo attacks this go around. So, yeah, I think this card will see lots of play in Bakugo, especially. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this card either in sideboards for a lot of competitive decks, you know, especially if Tokiyami is this problem that people are going to have to figure out and be prepared for. Or even main board, a couple copies of it, just because that deck happens to run a combo attack. And, you know, if it does, cool. So yeah, and I'm with John. I love the art. Like, I actually love everything about this card. Like, I love the title, how well it fits with what's going on in the anime, and then the art as well. Like, it's perfect, and it also, you know, does a thing that counters Tokiyami, which is very thematically appropriate for it as well. So yeah, I love this card.
Yep. Moving along, we have the last card of the Bakugo kit we have is Tutoring Kiroshima. It is a 2/5. +3 mid. It's an ally card, so another ally card. I think we've seen a couple of Earth cards with ally now. I believe Tetsu's card had ally on it. So we have response remove. After this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, your rival flips 1 foundation. All right. Enhanced flip. Your powerful attack gets +3 damage. So again, I think these are pretty good abilities. I don't know that you're gonna like automatically slam 4 of these into every deck you build. But you know, giving your powerful attacks extra damage is always good, and you know, I'm sure the response will see some use.
Yeah, I don't kind of think this card. Like, it's got a worse block. Like you said, they're putting ally on some random foundations. Like, Tokiyami off of fire does stuff with some ally things, especially like the new one that we saw. But I don't think the new one has fire on it, so that doesn't do anything. You know, like, I mean, this card's not bad, but like, it's not real good either. You know, like, there's just better ways to make them flip stuff, even within Bakugo's own kit. So I don't know. Doesn't excite me.
Yeah, like I guess this card's fine. In like Death and Earth decks that want to like blow their stuff up and get value out of it, I guess. Like if you're blowing it up for another effect and then being able to flip one of their things, or making them flip a thing, I should say. But yeah, it's I think it's a fine card. I don't see this being a 2 diff foundation that you go out of your way to put in your deck, though. I mean, maybe if you just need to fill a slot or something, it could be there. But you know,
Yeah, if there's some ally theme, sub theme, or sub package at some point, you know, like, I could see this being one you look at. But
or foundation destruction becomes really prevalent, like something you have to deal with, then you know, hey, I guess this is a cool effect to punish them for blowing something up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's kind of that little defense piece you have sitting out there, and maybe make them think twice about it. And obviously, the rest of the set's not revealed. Maybe there's more ally stuff going on in these symbols that we don't know about. But we'll have to wait and see. So it's, you know, it's not a bad foundation, not great. The 2 cost kind of, I think, is what really holds it back, and the block aren't great. But I mean, it's a common. It does part of Bakugo stuff. It gives your attack more damage, which is what he wants to do. Since this version of Bakugo is more about adding speed and then using the powerful ability, as the other one's more about just giving straight up damage. So maybe you miss out on some of that, you get it back here.
So
Um,
I guess another good thing about this card theoretically is like if you flip it to give damage and then blow it up, you can still use the response on it, right? When it hits your
mhm.
discard pile. So
Yeah, because
I mean, you're getting
it would
value on
flip
both
back
ends
over
of
when
it.
you blow it up. Yep.
Yeah. So you get value on both sides of it if you're doing that on your turn. So
Mhm.
that's another thing to make note of.
Yeah, I mean, +2, +3 isn't
Yep.
isn't nothing, and then also just buffing your powerful if you have some momentum. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might be all right. I don't know. Like again, it just doesn't excite me.
Yeah, it's not like one of the other foundations we're going to talk about later, in which Matt will be very excited for. um, so before we get into the rest of the stain cards, we did have a promo card revealed. We're not sure how how you're going to get it. Maybe it's like a pre-release card or something. It hasn't been officially announced. Maybe it'll be the box topper. We don't know yet. But that card is Alleyway Ambush, and gonna be honest, I'm not super excited about this card. I don't know about you guys, but it's a 5 diff, 3 check, +2 mid, 4 high for 5. It does have a sweet picture on it. Like the art on this card is awesome. I love this art.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, 3 infinity symbols, no traits, no anything. It's just a static. If it has the red UA, so the set 2 UA indicator on characters and stuff, meaning only these characters can use this, right? That's how that
hmm
works.
Yeah,
It's kind of like on Plus Ultra,
Well,
you have to have the set 1 symbol.
they can use the static.
They can use the static.
Anyone can play the card.
Yeah, yeah.
so
Um,
right now this card doesn't technically work, but I'm sure there'll be rules updates that make it work because
mhm.
that restricts you from playing abilities. It doesn't restrict the static abilities from activating. So
It should have been a response.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or I mean, I'm sure they'll update the rules. They've updated the rules a couple times already, so it'll
Yeah.
just be a thing that they put in there and fix. But yeah, when they get it fixed, I don't know what deck this has a home in.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you would say, like oh, it goes in Tokiyami, but he like set one Tokiyami can't play it.
Right.
Um, and even if
Well,
he
and just
could, you got to
Well,
just for
yeah,
draw.
we should say
listeners,
what the ability
yeah,
is.
tell
It's
tell the listeners what the ability does real quick.
Oh yeah, so it's a set 2 character only static ability that says if there are at least 5 cards in your card pool, this card ignores progressive difficulty, and it's a 5 diff, 3 check, 4 high for 5, triple infinity symbols with a +2 mid block.
mhm.
With sweet art, as John noted. So yeah, I don't know what deck this fits into. It doesn't work with set 1 Tokiyami. Set 2 Tokiyami is probably not playing. Like this has to be your 6th card when you play it because there has to be 5
Right.
cards already in the card pool. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're just going all in to try and kill someone, and this is the last card in your hand, and you can play it on a 5, then sure. But I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
So I don't like the card, but that being said, my criticism of it would be I wish it had any number of keywords, like whether it's just traits or whether it's actual abilities, just anything. Um, because if it did, then to your point, it might fit in. Like, let's say if it had weapon on it, right? Okay, cool. Well, I might just play this in stain as like my final little oomph at the end, right? Check a 5, I get there. There's been cards like that in the past that had these exact same stats that basically like ignored other card types of the same one or just got minus difficulty instead of plus difficulty for progressive and that sort of stuff. And those cards were generally pretty good. Like they would find a home in at least a deck or two here or there. To your point, like maybe in the rest of the set there'll be something that we haven't seen that really is the home for this card. But I think as is, this card is not gonna, I don't know, be in many decks. Like it has to be 5 other cards. It's not if it's your 5th one, 5 others. So that means if you're a 6-hander, this is the last card. You're emptying your hand. You know, like, um,
Potentially, yeah.
yeah. I mean, like,
Uh,
even if you're Midoriya, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna play this, and then I can't buff it because it's not a punch. like, um, I don't know. Like, so many characters are keyword locked that this not having any keywords, I think, really hurts it.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess any deck that's playing like Crow and Frog Takedown, right? Because it doesn't count towards progressive. If you've like led your turn with 2 or 3 of those or something, or
Yeah.
like we've kind of talked about behind the scenes, like Mina, obviously she ignores face down
hmm
cards in her card pool, don't add to progressive for her. But to Matt's point, this doesn't have a keyword, so it doesn't trigger off her response to burn them because it's not a like punch or ranged, I think, or her
Yeah.
keywords. And so it doesn't really work there. I mean, I guess you can still play it in her, and it's just you it's still a 5 damage attack they have to deal with that you're not playing on progressive.
Right.
That's not nothing, I guess, but I feel like there would just have to be better cards for her to play in this
Right.
slot, right?
Right. Like, how bad are all the other options that this ends up being the best card? Like
Yeah.
even if you just 1x this in a deck, like there's so many situations where you're going to draw it and you're just like, well, this is not good. It doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
fit into what I wanted to do this turn. Like, I'm going to build 5 foundations, then play an attack. Haha, I'm handless. Now I die. Like, that 5 damage was totally worth it. I don't know.
Yeah. And we haven't seen the rest of the set, so maybe something will be clear. Maybe they made this card. Well, actually, that's not true. I was going to say maybe they made it with something else in mind down the road, but you
It's
can't.
for
It's got to be
set
about
2,
set
man.
2, right?
Yeah, it's for set 2. It is awesome artwork. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately very cool art. And that's kind of why, to me, like I thought for sure, oh, this will be like another Stain type card, right? It will have weapon on it because he's about to ambush him. Nah, nothing. So
It is what it is.
yeah,
Speaking of Stained, Ryan, would you care to tell us about Piercing Descent?
Yeah. Let me find it because I didn't know what we were talking about next.
I got you.
Sorry, I sprung it on him.
Yeah.
It's a 4 diff, 3 check, 2 high for 5 damage. Fury weapon, combo enhance. This attack gets +2 damage. If this attack deals damage, your rival loses 1 health. Take it away, Ryan.
Uh.
Love it,
So
hate it,
no,
can't live without it. I don't know.
yeah. So I mean, it's a 2 for 7, pretty easy, and between his ability and its ability, it's like a 2 for 9 on a 5
Mhm.
diff. It's very blockable. I guess 3 for 9, right? Because he gives it +1 speed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean it's really really blockable, but I feel like if you can throw this later in the turn and connect with it, it's gonna feel awesome to just kind of poke away. But it's got an awesome block on it. I think that's one of the best things about it, having a +1 low block. But
Mhm.
I mean it gets live on a 5 diff. Why not? I don't hate it.
Yeah, it can also be sneaky. Like you can use his control check hack. If you've done damage to him already, to kind of
Yeah,
give this 3 speed that they can't really manipulate.
true.
To your point, then it's like a what, like a 6 high
6
at that point,
essentially. Yeah.
essentially. For 9.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just like you're saying on a 5 diff. It's just a card that they got to kind of look out for. It's a lot of damage. So I I don't know. It's not the coolest attack that he has, but at the same time, it's a common. It's not bad.
It's like a
Yeah.
Texas Smash. It's like you got to block this. It's doing a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Like
You know
just
what I
deal with
want
it.
to? You know what I want to do with this? I want to build all eraser. As I desperately continue to try to find builds of eraser that I enjoy playing, and just discard and give it +2 speed. It's a 4 speed now, boys. Oh yeah, that 4
I was,
speed.
I was just thinking, man, maybe there's gonna be like some all Jiro deck because this is weapon. She'd give it +2 speed if you're playing it on the combo, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Then it's a 4 high for 7, or if you're playing it later, I don't know.
I mean, that's actually
I
probably totally fine with her. Yeah.
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 So I was just thinking about that because it's like, I was just like, it's got a weapon. She give it plus speed, right? That's not bad.
Mhm. Yeah, that could be
Which
good.
yeah. So hey, why not, right? More speed.
All needs the love. So I'm glad that Stain's giving it to it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next, let's talk about some double blade slash. We've got
Double blade slash.
again. We got another cool picture here of Midoriya Stain fight. It's a
Mm-hmm.
5 diff, 3 control check, a 5 speed mid, only doing 3 damage, +1 high block. That's pretty great. Fury stun 1 weapon, evil character enhance. Lose 1 health. Your rival's check to block this attack gets -1 damage. Enhance. If this attack is blocked, your next attack gets stun 1. It gets stained 1.
It gets stained 1.
It gets
Like there's
stun
there's a
1.
couple ways I could go. Like, is that them
Yeah.
spilling something on your card and it's actually stained, or is it like only stain? Like I don't know.
I
Right.
don't know. Or both.
Yeah.
They take it out of your card sleeve and stain it.
Ooh.
Uh,
So my problem with this card is that it's a 5 diff. Like I think it wants to play as a poke, right? Like you kind of just throw one of these out there and you're like, let's see what they want to do. So I guess this is a good opener for him. Like we were just talking about piercing descent. Maybe you lead with a double blade slash. That's a 5. You need piercing descent. That's a 5. Like that's totally fine line of play. It effectively has 6 speed, right? Because you stun 1, and then you can use his ability on it. So it actually really has like 7 speed, and it's only doing 3.
mm-hmm.
But then you can use its enhance. So I don't know if you guys talked about it before. I don't remember, but like for anyone who's not familiar, when you see a resource symbol in front of the enhance, like in the cost of something, that means that you have to have that resource symbol on your character that you're playing to use that ability. Doesn't mean you have to be playing that symbol. So, for example, Stain can use this because he has evil on him, even though you might have an order or an alt build of Stain. That's totally just how that works. So, but yeah, I mean, it hacks their checks that as another speed. So this thing's coming across what, like as a 7 speed at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's getting pretty silly. And then if it's blocked, your next one gets stun one also. Like, my only complaint would be that it's a 5 diff, but at the same time, it does a lot of stuff.
It does a lot of stuff. If you're playing like an order build with Stain, you've got that Todoroki Foundation. Since this is a stun attack, you just give it free +1 damage.
Yeah.
So it does pick up some extra damage that way. And I'm sure there's going to be some other stuff you would think to maybe give your weapon attacks plus damage or plus speed or something like that. I mean, Mei, I think, has all in evil as well, right? And she's all about like weapons. And so
Mhm.
presumably she'd have some way to buff the damage.
I'm pretty sure we saw Todoroki Foundation today that interacts with that to like give minus damage to give, or minus speed to get plus damage. So, I mean, you could do some stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know who you would play this in. Honestly, I don't know if you'd play it in anyone but Stain.
Right.
Then you're getting 4 damage out of it. But even then, like paying 5 for a 4 damage poke. I mean, I guess it gets his ability online for the game if you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't love this card.
I think like you said, it's all about getting his ability online, right? Because it's just as
Yeah.
long as you've dealt damage this game, so you're just kind of doing whatever you can to force your opponent to try to block something, so they can stop your ability from triggering. Because like you don't really want to block this attack, right? If you're the opponent, but it's also like, well, I also don't want Stain's ability just going online.
Yeah. I think when you play against Stain, you just have to accept that that ability is going to get online at some point.
Yeah,
And
it's
for
just
people who've
delaying
never
it,
played
right?
through CC hacks, just get used to it.
Yeah.
Like,
And this is
you're
a
either going to
common
commit out
attack.
a lot of resources or you're just going to lose a card, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a common attack. Up next, we have an ultra rare attack. Matt, you want to tell us about some slashing whirlwind?
Sure. So it's a 4 difficulty, 3 check again. It's a 5 speed mid for 4 damage, fury weapon, and then it says enhance. Discard 2 momentum. This attack gets plus 10 damage. Only playable if you have dealt damage this combat phase. So unlike his character ability where it's just for the game, you have to have already hit them this combat phase. Like if you're playing against someone who's just walled up and they've been blocking a lot, you can't use this enhance. But let's say maybe you played that double slash from a second ago, they took the 3 damage and you're like, oh yeah. So now, this thing's going to come across for 14 damage for discarding 2 momentum on a 4 diff. I might be wrong, but this card seems insane. Like 2 momentum's not the easiest thing to come by, but at the same time, 14 damage on a 5 speed with him a 6 speed, and then if you hack their check, it's a 9 speed effectively for 14 damage, and you could have nothing else in play. That's crazy. Like the fact that this card exists in him, like as soon as they have 2 momentum, if I'm playing against Stain, I'm never like I'll eat so much other damage just in fear of this thing coming across for 14. You know, like I'm gonna hold on to that mid block until the very end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this card is very good.
Gotta hold that plus ultra right here. Just
Yeah. Hold it
never let go.
close.
Never let go.
Yeah. So the attack we just looked at, the common, is like it's a super good way to set this up. It's really fast. It's low damage. So they don't want to block it to begin with. So yeah, if you can get into like 2 momentum and then get this live on a turn, that seems really good.
Yeah, so realistically, this is like a turn 3 attack, right? Like get your 2 momentum maybe on turn 2, can't attack on turn 1. Like that's the earliest you're really getting this online, unless you have artificial momentum gen from some other source.
Yeah.
So-
What does Capture Evildoers have all?
It does.
Nope.
I was just thinking about like an
yeah, it does.
all, like what else would you do? Because if you're playing like order, obviously you've got a bunch of throws. You could maybe like turn 2, get a couple throws in there, and maybe try to slam this out there turn 3 or something like Matt said.
Snatch up their momentum, hit them for a bunch.
But they'd have to have momentum also at that point. Like I still think turn 3 is really the earliest you're getting this something online.
Yeah.
Like, But now,
That's totally
if you
fine.
have this threat of 14 damage, I mean, that almost kills some characters. Like, and they just have to. All right, I live in fear of this card for the rest of the game. Like,
Yeah.
Let's think. So if you're playing Order, you've also got the Kaminari stuff. He's got some like snap momentum generation with like charged up and stuff like that.
With charge and stun attacks, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you could get those in there. And Stain's got some decent amount of stun we've already seen. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a whole lot of instances in which like turn 2, someone's throwing this out like Matt said for like 14 plus.
right.
I'm pretty sure you play Electric Jolt in Order Stain, and you don't feel bad about it, even though it's not a weapon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
it
guaranteed 1
gets-
damage, so it always has
yeah.
momentum.
Also,
Yeah.
it just helps you tap down stuff.
Right.
Really good defensive card.
That card's just great. +2 high block. Also,
Yeah.
speaking of blocks, I was just looking at Stain's attacks. He's got some great blocks going on his cards. They're so far, it's a +1 low block, a +1 high block, and a +1 mid block.
He's got a +2 also mid block on 1.
I think the last one we're about to talk about.
Yeah. But either way, they're all good. Yeah, like if your block mods cap at 2, okay. Your
Yeah.
kit's pretty solid.
Can't be mad at it.
Yeah. And Ryan, since you mentioned it there, you want to go ahead and tell us about Intimidating Presence?
Yeah, so we got a 4/2 +2 mid block. 3 low. Wait, what?
I said Intimidating Presence.
We didn't talk about Sinister Paralyzation yet, did we?
Sinister Paralyzation, yeah.
Oh, did I skip that one? Oh, my bad. Go to that.
Yeah.
That's the one I
sorry.
was thinking about.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about too, John. Get on the same page, son.
Oh my gosh. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
This one also has a +2 mid block. That's why I was thrown off.
Yeah, so a 4/2 +2 mid, 3 low for 6. This is a weapon combo weapon. It's some more crazy art of him licking on some bloody knives or weapons.
Man likes knives, all right?
Yeah. So it's got enhance. If your rival has taken damage this game, you seal 1 rival Essoter Foundation. That's pretty hot. And then combo enhance. If your rival checks a printed 5 or higher to block this attack, they recheck. So I mean, I don't think the combo enhance is as good as it sounds. Because I mean, most of the time you got 66% of your decks can be 5 checks. So like 2 out of 3 times it might make them recheck, and they might just hit the same thing again. So it is what it is. Like that's just an extra bonus. Maybe they check bad twice in a row or something. Maybe they check a 5, then check a 3, and you get the win on that. You know what I mean? But
Right, well, I think it plays nice with his ability though. Like think about like you make them check the 5, and then they check again. Like you said, maybe they check a 3, and you're like hack it down to a 0.
A 0,
Yeah.
But it's all about the top enhance to just steal a rival Essoter Foundation for free. Man, that is an awesome ability. And then coming in for 6 with 4 speed after his ability is baller. I like this card.
Yeah, the 2 check is the question becomes: is it a 2 check that's worth it, right? Because like if you're running a 2 check, it needs to be like a Detroit Smash kind of thing. Like it needs to end games. And I think this card has the potential. Yeah, specialized sound waves, right. Like this card has that potential. Like being able to target seal something just instantly is huge. Like there's not a lot of that in set 1. There's a little bit, right? Like you have irrefutable force of nature, and that's really the only recurring sealing you have. Like Eraser has his attack that you can like combo to seal one of their things also, or combo to discard, target to seal, or whatever. But those things are about it. Like it's just a little bit. So yeah, I think Erase does it also. But point being, I think that ability, like Ryan was saying, that's really good at punching holes through walls. Like if you want to go and just open a turn up with one of these, and you're like seal your best defensive piece. Okay, cool. Now you got to play honest the rest of this turn. As I push in, that's really good, and it sets up, like you said, just the rest of the stuff because it's a weapon attack. So it could be a 2 check worth it. I don't know. I don't immediately get excited by this card, but that doesn't mean that's bad. I just would want to see how he plays to see how good it is within him.
Yeah, I agree. It does do 6 damage base, which is a lot. I feel like coming in. So you're talking about earning that two check. I think it kind of earns it there. But like you said, just being able to lead your turn. Like if you play this in like Ida, just go ahead. That's really strong. It helps his control kit a lot. Being able to seal something right away. I think it's really strong. It's a really strong control piece in with a very high damage number base. I think that's always really good. So we will see. To Matt's point, we will see how good it actually ends up being in practice. In theory, I think it sounds really good, but we'll see. And finally, the card I was thinking of, Intimidating Presence. It's his last foundation, I believe. It's a 1/5 +2 mid block. It's a weapon foundation for all you Momo fans out there.
Yeah, boy.
And more importantly, it's probably something she's gonna be real good at getting into her card pool. So it has a static ability. While this card is in your card pool, rival effects get -1 speed.
Rival
Uh,
attacks, yeah.
yeah, sorry. Rival attacks get -1 speed. Response flip. After your rival readies one or more foundations due to their effect, flip one of them. I like
Ain't
this
nothing
card.
wrong with this card. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say it's just a generically really good card.
Yeah, I mean, to your point about like with Momo, yeah,
Mhm.
she builds one of these whether naturally or artificially, like on one of her attack turns, or I mean on one of her block turns where she's trying to survive. She's like block with it. Now every time I use my ability, your attack gets -3 speed. Seems like I'm going to block more stuff pretty easily.
Mhm.
Um, she could like if she has one in play, she could like destroy it to then put it on top to then quick creation it into her card pool to give it minus damage and minus more speed. Like I don't know this card. I can't wait to goof around. Like I already had that deck built, and you guys know like I loved playing it anyway. It just
Mhm.
couldn't kill people really. It was just a lot of fun interactions. I can't wait to windmill slam 4 of these into it and see how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I love the response on this card. There's so much readying in the format, and there's so many characters that just want to like ready specific things and abuse them. I cannot
Mhm.
wait to just snipe whatever good stuff they're doing. And like Evil needs some really good spam, so this will be good for Evil.
Mhm.
Order, I think this can make a spot into an order deck really easily. And then yeah, I mean obviously there's a spot for it in all. I think all's pretty weak currently, so it needs all the
Mhm.
help it can get. So this will help control the board a little bit.
Yeah, well, to your point, like requesting assistance is like a 4x in most lists that can play it, right?
Mhm.
And you're just like, cool, yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna flip that face down now. Like whatever you try to
Yeah.
ready, or the Giro deck in particular readies
Mhm.
a bunch of stuff. So yeah, Asui
Uh,
can ready a bunch of
I'll
stuff
say
too.
amphibious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just, and think about like against Asui, you're stealing one of her triggers by doing that too. It's
Mhm.
like she raised that card and you're like, flip it now. You can't ready yourself again later. Like, and
Mhm.
it's only a flip cost. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, ain't nothing wrong with this card, and the art's baller. So
Yeah, the art's really cool. For all you Eraserhead players, there you go. Just block with this first. Then he's just giving everything -3 speed as well.
Indeed.
Let's see. I think we have 2 stained foundations left, right? Challenging the Fakes and Hero Killer.
Yeah, that's what I believe is left. Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Matt,
I'll
you want to
talk
tell us
about one.
about challenging the Fakes?
Sure. It's a 2/5 with a +4 mid block. um, it's taunt as a keyword, so that's something.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. Just in case you're wondering, if you've never experienced taunt, it's just a generic keyword. I think Monoma talked about taunt as well so
If
far,
if,
right?
if he if his
Attack
if he
doesn't have
gives
it, he
it
gives it to it,
if
and
he
it gets
gives it
+1 damage.
taunt, I think it gives +1 damage.
Yeah, something like that. So either
Like,
way, it
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. Like it's not like a
It's a
special trait
keyword
that.
trait.
Yeah, it's just a trait. It's like punch or slam or whatever. So it's just a reference point. Anyway, it says enhance flip. This attack gets -1 damage. If it is not blocked, your rival's next check to play an attack gets -2. Failing that check does not end the combat phase. Um, yeah, so the block is awful on this card. I
Mhm.
don't know why it has taunt. Again, maybe there's a subset of some taunt interactions that are going to be enough in the set to do something. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, flipping for -1 damage is something. It's in theory, if you have something that, like, say, puts something down to 1 damage, this could put it to 0 because it doesn't say minimum of 1. So that's always something to keep an eye on. But the if it's just given -1 to like a 10 damage attack and you take 9 just to give their next check -2, you're losing in that exchange. Like this is good if they're throwing out some little weak poke that's doing like 3 or less damage, I guess. But I don't know. It might be good in Stain. I don't see many other people probably running it though.
yeah,
Yeah. Just start Ryan, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like it's I guess if you can play a deck that has a lot of damage reduction in it, just to get value out of that, it'd be cool. It doesn't have any application on offense because they're not playing attacks. If they block with an attack, it doesn't affect that because they're
Mhm.
playing an attack card, right? So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I mean, I don't know why this card has a +4 block on it. Number one,
Right.
and I feel like it should have given more minus damage if you're gonna have to resort to just eating an attack. Um, yeah, not my favorite card, but Maybe I'll be surprised by it. I do like the art on it though; it's cool, and I
Hmm.
guess it has taunt because he's like, he's out there taunting everybody. I mean, he's
He's
Yeah,
taunting
he's
all the
challenging
heroes.
the
he's
fakes. Like
calling
I
them
do
out.
like it
Yeah.
from a flavor standpoint. I do like that it has taunt on it.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, I guess there's like potentially maybe like an order damage reduction build, right? Because you can use like what's the what's the Moneta card that gives plus or minus damage for cards in your opponent's creepy
creepy
realization?
yeah,
realization.
That can give some minus damage. You've got some of the Midoriya stuff from set one, so you could flip this card and give it minus damage. Then you can like self-sacrifice to blow it up for like additional minus damage or something. There's like some amount of stuff in there. It's not like a huge amount of damage resist, kind of like to Ryan's point, like just giving this like -1 just generically by itself. So there is like some amount of DR stuff in order that you could kind of do, but it's not great. I mean, it is only a common foundation, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, I feel like this could have had a +2 block on it, and it still would have been fine.
+3 or something.
Yeah.
+4 is odd, but we do have one Stain foundation left, and Ryan, you want to tell us about it? Since I think it's your favorite foundation that's been printed in My Hero.
I don't know if it's my favorite in my hero, but it is definitely my favorite out of set two. I think they've shown. So it's a 2/5 +3 high block hero killer. Response remove after your rival builds or unflips a foundation, remove it, and then deadlock first form, remove. Your weapon attacks gain stun 2 for the rest of the combat phase. So I guess quickly, the deadlock form is kind of nuts. If they go into deadlock and you're playing an all weapon deck, like you're just gonna die if you go into deadlock against this foundation. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. But the implications of the response remove, um, I mean, it seems really strong to me. If you get to go first, I think it kind of it puts your advantage even more because you can get rid of every good foundation that they have. Well, not every, but for each one of these, you can get rid of like a copy of a good foundation they play, leave them with kind of trash is the goal, right? And
Mhm.
then it also keeps them off resources for your control checks, hacks to be more effective. So I love this to be able to snipe problems. And if they're unflipping something, obviously it's something they want, so you can snipe it after they unflip it. Yeah, I think it's an all around really cool card. Too much tongue, but it's a really cool card.
So, one thing I would like to point out, like, so what Ryan's talking about doing is because it says after your rival builds or unflips a foundation, remove it. So, like, it doesn't mean they have to artificially build that foundation. Like, it's just end of turn. They're adding cards from their card pool. Foundations get built down to your stage. You can respond with this card at that point. So, what he's saying is, you're player one, you build one of these on your turn. Then player two goes, takes their first turn. At the end of their turn during their end phase, when they're adding that foundation down, you respond and you remove it. So you trade yours for theirs. Um, that's really good. like,
Hmm.
like for example, imagine you do this to if coordinated effort was still in the game, right? You're just like, and that never even hit the field. I don't have to deal with that anymore. That's a great trade. There's lots of really good trades you can make with this card. And it'll be important to note a lot of people, I feel like when they, from just playing in the Webcam Weeklies, things like that, and if you're newer to the game, a lot of people tend to just kind of take their foundations they built and just immediately move them all down. With cards like this in play, you're going to want to make sure that you go, from right to left, one card at a time, kind of thing, and give your rival an opportunity to respond. Because I don't know, I could see that being a window that people aren't used to playing with because there haven't really been anything else to trigger during that. So I just want to take a moment to make sure everyone was aware of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add to this other than it is, as Ryan pointed out, the artwork is something. It is Stain just licking that blade.
Dude, man, I don't see what the problem is, guys. Stain loves to lick the metals. Every
What?
card.
Well, he loves to lick the blood on the medals.
Specifically,
Well,
yeah.
you know, I'm sure he likes the taste of the metal too.
I'm sure it's like, did they have to like just
It's
highlight the
acquired.
saliva on the tongue? Like you can see like the little bumps on his tongue.
Yeah, dude.
It's,
You can see the veins in his eyes. This man is crazy.
yeah. Well, I think that's all the Stain reveals. We're gonna take a little break and we're gonna come back and talk about some Midoriya and Todoroki reveals.
Sweet.